speak a little louder because I think their microphones. Oh, there it is working. Tom Harbinson, 15 Soundcrest Drive. I know there's a lot of first-timers in the room who have not been to a public meeting from my observation, so be aware that the aldermen are not able to reply back, so I will reply for them, I think. You should all know that several of them up there have been in military service and are veterans, and they do respect the Constitution, and they do respect the rights of us as citizens. And so I would encourage you all to be respectful of their service here as aldermen, because what they do propose, whether you agree with it or disagree with it, they do things for us as our citizens to make our community a safe community. And in that regard, an earlier speaker was concerned about the schools, the elementary schools, and they are making efforts to secure those schools with better security efforts. An earlier speaker spoke about his concern of his hometown in Chicago, and I have a sister who lives in Chicago, my only sister. And I know what it's like to be in a big city. I do a lot of construction work in New York City. And when you have a civilized society that is a complicated society, it does require laws, rules, regulations, ordinances to serve everybody in a harmonious way. You'll never have surety that you will be safe in this world if you carry a handgun or not. There is evil in the world, as an earlier speaker spoke of. There are maniacs in the world, as an earlier speaker spoke of. And I will add that there is stupidity in this world. In New York City, just the same day as the recent bombing in Boston, there was a visitor, tourist from North Carolina who was with a tour group and wanted to visit the 9/11 memorial. And when he discovered that you cannot take a weapon into that zone, he returned to the hotel and quickly put the handgun under a seat cushion in the hotel lobby. And unfortunately, that was discovered by somebody sitting on the seat cushion who alerted the police, and of course, given the affairs of that day, set off quite a security alarm. And the police eventually figured it out who it was due to surveillance with cameras and talking to police about who was there at that time, and tracked him down. So even though he may have legally been able to have a handgun, sometimes certain people do stupid things. I am chairman of the Conservation Commission, and I have a few thoughts about the concerns that people have regarding the trails, to reiterate what Terrence Gallagher, a steady volunteer on our trails for many, many years, has said earlier. Yes, there's an abundance of wildlife in our open space. We have never had an incident of any public person being attacked. Yes, there are bobcats in town. Yes, there occasionally will be a bear that comes through our area. Yes, there are coyotes in town. Does that mean that you should be concerned about being attacked when you're out on our trails? Really, no. But if it brings you a sense of comfort from that fear, yes, currently you have the ability to carry a weapon. However, in terms of the hunting, we do have an open space ordinance, 833, which has been referred to tonight, and so I'll just read for everybody's benefit what it says. It says that hunting, trapping, archery, discharging firearms, paintball guns, air guns, or use of any weapon on or into city open space areas is prohibited. Hunters crossing city open space areas to gain access to private or state property may proceed through city open space areas only with an unloaded firearm. That ordinance was passed a number of years ago. We've had really no issues with it. As Terrence Gallagher said earlier, most of our issues with open space are vandalism and ATVs and so on. Hunters whether they be hunting into open space or on open space, has really been a very minimal issue. But we do have a lot of open space that has a health that we as citizenry need to maintain, and that health is facing a challenge with the deer population. And the understory, the under canopy of that natural environment is being eaten away by an overpopulation of deer. And if there were a traumatic weather event such as a tornado, hurricane, things like we've experienced recently, where there's a devastation, or a forest fire, where there's a devastation of the high tree canopy, there is no understory to come up and replace it in many areas. And there may come a time when we need to select open space properties for hunting, but currently there are a lot of private property owners who allow hunting, and that is a very important aspect to reduce the deer herd population, which is in overabundance in our area. And to allow that kind of activity to continue, we need to allow people to be educated in the proper use of firearms, and whether that be Thank you. The libraries in our community are meant to serve the public and educating them. That may be by reading books, it may be by having speakers give training exercises. I've been a beneficiary of that. My safe boating certificate, learned how to operate a vessel by taking a lesson that was given by the Power Squadron at one of our city facilities. And I think educating the public on how to properly use a firearm and go about to become licensed to carry and use one is an important aspect. So in general, I understand where the Alderman's heart may be in the right place, but I disagree with this ordinance as it's currently written. Thank you very much.